Hi guys, I hope you're all doing well. Welcome to part, I think it's 3 of empty nest syndrome. We are still dealing with our topic of empty nesting and finding purpose in your empty nest, yeah? So when you think of what finding purpose is about, once the kids leave the nest, it can be challenging to figure out, what life is supposed to look like after that, because we spend so much of our time building life around them when they're around, yeah? So despite all the goodness that comes with parenting, you will always be a parent. Once the kids have left, it's normal to think to yourself, okay, what now? Yeah? There are a lot of resources you can refer to online that can give you ideas on how to adjust to an empty nest once the kids have left. But after that initial period of grief and adjustment is over, the question is, okay, what now? Yeah? How do you find your purpose now? Because it's almost like you're becoming a different person. You're a different version of you. You're no longer you, the mom, you, the dad, the parent. Now it's you, the person with fully grown kids who've left home. So you have all this time on your hands. What do you do? There are several options actually that we have. Would you like to go back to school? Maybe there's something you've been wanting to study for a long time. Do you want to go back to employment? Maybe you've been employed and you're retired. Would you like to go back? Would you like to possibly begin a business? All of those things. Become a volunteer. It's possible to volunteer full time. Yeah, there are places where you can, or just cultivate a hobby that you've been neglecting for a long time. All of those are valid. They're all meaningful options. And now that you have like a third of your life left, how are you going to make that count? Those are very valid questions, right? And the idea, the whole purpose of this series we've been having is don't survive, but thrive. Yeah? The idea is how can we thrive? Because life doesn't end when the kids go. What it does actually, it opens you up to a whole lot of new possibilities, new options. So I'm thinking a lot about my sis when I'm doing this video, because just the other day her daughter left home. Her firstborn went to college, and it was bittersweet. For me, it was almost like it's my own child leaving, because, we've grown up, we're close, and I was thinking, okay, next it's going to be Eric. Eric is older, but he's still around, and not for long, so maybe. So I kept asking her, how are you feeling? Are you okay really? How is all this affecting you? Because, her firstborn has been there doing everything for her, with her, and all of that kind of thing. And she was like, we've been talking about it for so long that she's kind of adjusted. I wanted to read to you what a certain lady wrote on her blog, yeah? She said, the moment I walked into my quiet house after dropping my youngest off at college, and empty nest syndrome hit hard. Yeah? I burst into tears, something I rarely do, and for the next 2 weeks I barely got through the day without feeling overwhelmed by sadness at least once or twice. But after the initial shock of being alone, because her spouse is there, wore off, I realized something big. I could either mourn the past or jump feet first into the future, because really, the next phase of my life could be incredibly liberating, but only if I embraced the change instead of resisting it. You see, that's deep. And that realization she made it's a great realization, because you can only get the best if you embrace the situation that you're in now, the current situation of being an empty nester. Yeah? So this is just something to encourage you and give you ideas, because I'm one leg in the same situation, and these are all things that are very close to home, very practical for me. I'm actually doing most of them now. And yeah, so go ahead and make that bucket list. Make the bucket list. Have all the things you've always wanted to do, but you couldn't because you're using motherhood as an excuse. You were always too busy, and now with plenty of time to invest in yourself, explore your interests and do just that. Make it count. And discover that your You're not just surviving the empty nest, you're actually thriving in another new section of your life. And it can be great. It is great, actually. Yeah. So guys, let's go on as we have tea. So if you're facing the empty nest situation, I got some advice for you guys from different sources. I did some research on how to move forward with your own life once you get to this stage. Yeah. Hopefully these tips will help you do more than ease the transition. What I really hope they'll be able to help you do is realize that for so long you've held yourself back, and you're now able to focus on yourself, and it's a great period, and follow your passions. What could be greater than that, right? So the first thing is to get to know yourself, in brackets again, you're relearning your loves and your dislikes. When your kids were in the nest, you probably did not get a chance to spend a lot of time on introspection. Everything was out there between going for football classes, meal prepping, the PTA meeting, board, and all of that stuff. Your focus was generally on them, which is great. That was their time. Perfect, good job. But now it's time to get to know who you are again. Who is Rosalind? What are your likes? What is in there? You're probably very different now from what you were before you had the kids. You might find that your skill set and your abilities have changed greatly. You now have a different type of skill set. You've gone through learning different things in the course of managing the kids. So guys, the hair is taking a bit of getting used to. As you can see, it's giving me a bit of, anyway. So where had we reached? Your skill set and your passions have changed significantly because of 18 plus years of investing your entire life in raising these people, right? One good way to find out what you're good at is ask your friends. Ask your friends, ask your family, like, what do you guys think I'm good at? What do I do naturally well, now, as opposed to what you think you know about yourself. You'll be surprised. And then you can make a list, and these are people you trust. Yeah, of course you're trying to get information from trustworthy friends that you know you can rely on. So put them down in a list, and then look into them further, study them, and you'll find out that guys see you in a very different way from the way you see yourself. You'll be quite surprised. Start small. You'll be very surprised to hear what people have to say about you. It's very different from what you think. So that's one good way of getting to know yourself and finding out, you like taking charge of stuff. Those kind of things can make you know, maybe you have a streak of organization and that kind of thing that you were probably not aware you had. Yeah, and it can give you an idea of something that you can focus on. You can, invest more in. And I want to emphasize again this point of taking care of yourself. Okay. Having spent the last 18 plus years caring for your children and perhaps neglecting yourself, I think that's a perhaps. I think definitely neglecting taking care of yourself. This is your chance to change your habits. Change your habits of putting everyone else in front of yourself, and give yourself enough attention for once. Focus on yourself and don't allow yourself to feel guilty. We always feel guilty as ladies when you take care of yourself. Don't. The kids have gone. You have no reason to be feeling guilty about anything. Focus completely on yourself. Spoil yourself. Yeah? Start small with taking evening walks around the block, instead of just watching your favorite series. have light meals, take salads and some soup. You don't have to kill yourself cooking, for hours. Take a nap as and when you wish, even if it's in the middle of the day and you're able to have that nap. Because you've been working so hard for so many years, taking care of everyone else. This is your chance, and you will not feel guilty. Tell yourself you deserve it. You're not going to feel sorry about this. The other thing is to find your passion, which is something to do with the first point of getting to know yourself. What excites you? What thrills you and gets your blood pumping? Is it photography? Is it singing? Is it yoga? Is it traveling? Find out, do some research, look more into these things and see how on a daily basis you can do something towards the stuff you love. At least, nowadays all you need to do is just get online and you can get information about almost everything. So try your best to research on the things you love and find a way to pursue them. You can find a group maybe that does it. You can find classes if it's something that you need to learn. You can reach out to maybe someone who's an expert in a field that you would like to what is the word? Not excelling, because it's something you haven't done. You can't just start and excel, but in something that you'd like to pursue, to learn and take up. Most likely you will not lack a mentor who will be willing. At 50, it's tough to put yourself back into learning mode. You're used to being the one giving instructions. You're used to being the one giving instructions. You're the one telling people what to do, but humble yourself. Now you're on your own. You're not trying to impress anyone. This is for you. This one now is for you. So, pursue that. Take that up and enjoy it. Enjoy following the things that you love, right? Yeah. And then, the other point is to persevere, because a lot of things are a lot harder than we initially expect. Even if we don't say harder, they're more time consuming. I've lost the mic. Okay, I just want to make sure that it's not getting swallowed up. A lot of things are more time consuming than they look. So if you want to find your purpose, it might mean sticking with the thing, like the way we've said earlier. Look at the things that you're good at and pursue them. You might find that you have a short span. You might just find this thing is taking too long, you're tired, you want to get over with it and all of that stuff. No. Train yourself, program yourself to stick with the thing. Persevere with what is giving you, some oomph, so that at least you come out of this, like if it's a class, make sure you've come out of it with something. Learn that thing. Take however much time you need, but don't quit. Persist. Have what we call grit, Stay there and be that thing. Make sure you live there when you've got something, And then another point, number 5, is separate your worth and near the road, guys. So you might find you can hear a lot of traffic. So separate your worth from your work. Your worth from your work. What you do does not make you. So your work is whatever gives your life purpose, right? And it can be anything that is satisfying to you. Let me try and adjust this a little bit. Yeah. For example, there are people who are in ministry. Their work is they spend hours praying for people, writing Bible lessons, teaching the Bible. That's their work. Someone else teaches yoga. They wake up in the morning, they spend hours finding the right pose for different people. Different bodies require different stuff, and you will find there are people who dedicate themselves to doing that all day, every day. That is their work. Whatever your work might be, find something meaningful that you can do. It will take time and perseverance, but find it and do it, focus on it, do it to your best. But even as you seek to find your purpose, remember that your worth is not in your work. Your worth is not in doing, it's not in doing. Your life has meaning aside from that work, aside from the job you do. God gave all of us unique talents and gifts, and He can call you to do different vocations at different times. So if you just stick to saying, I teach, and that's it, that is it. If your time in life changes and maybe He wants you to become a travel guide, and you're still fulfilling your purpose and you probably love to travel, you'll start feeling a bit out of sorts because you've set your head, this is it. No. Just know that you can have different things in you that all give value to other people, to yourself, to God. So let it not be that your work is, it's written here, for we are God's workmanship. You understand? Created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand that we should walk in it. He prepared for you beforehand, right? As you seek to find your purpose in this empty nest, remember that God has prepared it beforehand. He knew your kids would come and then they would go. So work to find your purpose and identify those good works. Then walk forward with joy and perseverance and a whole lot of focus, and enjoy this period that you're in. Yeah?